I really don't want to spend a lot of time on this issue that I'm going to talk about, but I honestly have to, at least for a few minutes, to get this off of my system. But listening to Rush Limbaugh, listening to Sean Hannity, listening to Mark Levin, listening to the various radio shows that I do, and the various amount of opinions that I listen to, that we hear that it's anybody but Obama, and in the general election, we have to support the Republican nominee if we're going to get Obama out of the White House. And they're expecting the different factions inside the Republican Party to join together after this fight is over for the Republican nomination. And then you also hear Rush Limbaugh talk about the fact that the establishment wants to get the purse strings of the money that goes through Washington and not necessarily win the White House. They're more worried about winning the Senate and their chairmanships. That being said, today on the Brian Kilmeade radio show, John McCain was on there, and it talked about how he is the leading person on the Armed Services Committee. You see, I've been wanting to put these thoughts down in a blog for a while, to be honest with you, because I don't think this election really only has to do with who we elect as a Republican nominee to win the White House. It also has to do with winning the Senate. And do we really want to win the Senate if it's not possible to take it over with conservatives? I know you're going to say, Tim, what are you, freaking crazy? Well, I want you to think about a few things and put it into your thoughts. Just something to think about, the same thoughts I've been thinking about. And I hope that didn't sound confusing, but here I go. You have to figure that I live here, man. I know how these people vote. And I know that we have open primaries. And Susan Collins and Olympia Snowe are going to get elected again. Really, seriously, it's going to happen. Because unless there is an act of God, there is no way that these guys are not going to win. Do you really want them to having the heads of committees and the purse strings on this country? You take John McCain, the one that came out and just mocked the Tea Party for our conservative ideas and what we wanted to do. This is a man who literally sells his soul every time he goes out to vote. And the people of Arizona continue to sell their soul by electing this man, because he promises them all sorts of nice perks because of being on the Armed Services Committee and being able to funnel money into Arizona. Now, I'm not being ridiculous. I'm being smart when thinking about the practicality of what these people actually do. Now, my funniest thing is, I actually get a kick out of the people in Maine. They sell their soul real cheap when it comes to the establishment candidates like Olympia Snowe and Susan Collins, because Maine is a really poor state. And when you think about the great infrastructure that we used to have in this state at one time, and now has gone into the proverbial toilet, all because of subsidized behavior, then, we have nothing. We have absolutely nothing here when we talk about military industries or, aviation industries, computer industries, anything that you could say that's, you could funnel government money into. Instead, what you do is you have a bright idea that Susan Collins wants to do with a train. So when you start thinking about the election in 2012, I'd also be really seriously thinking about whether or not you truly do want the Republican Party in charge in the Senate. I know it's just an odd statement to make, but seriously, think about it. If we can't control it conservatively, I don't know how we're going to ever be able to stop it. You have a lot of inbred establishment types in there, and it's just gotten to the point where it's incestual. And I'm willing to say it because it's the truth. It's absolutely, just the thought of it and the sight of it is absolutely disgusting to me. How these people would sell people's futures right down the line, all because of power. It's nauseating. To me, the ultimate power is having the ability to help people, not harm them. With that being said, I'm Tim Donovan, and I'm on the right. You want to know where I am? You just look to the right. I guarantee you one thing. You're going to see me on the right side of Kennebunk.